Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2, and I'm back again with another movie review. Recently, this week, I was able to see Dr. Seuss's The Lorax, and when I was a little girl, I really enjoyed the story, even though I knew it was one of those cautionary environmental tales, and I've always been a person who enjoys nature, and I try to respect nature as best I can without going completely ape over it. But I really thought that they did a splendid job with how everything was depicted in the movie, especially how they portrayed the Onceler. Because when I was a kid, I always thought that the Onceler wasn't really all that bad. And the way they put this across was through a song montage that he had called How Bad Can I Be? And actually it was an allusion to capitalism, and it showed the dark side to capitalism, and being an American, it kind of made me uncomfortable, but there was truth in that. They didn't sugarcoat it, and I appreciated that, and I proved it. um, I felt that the movie was just beautifully made. It was just absolutely gorgeous, and the Seussical landscape and how everything was rendered with the CGI, and just the color. The color was just resplendent. It's absolutely phenomenal. My eyes were feeling like they were going to pop out of my sockets just because it was so pretty. And I love the forest creatures, especially there's a, a little bit of comedic relief with its kind of overweight bear cub. He's got this high-pitched voice, and he is so cute and adorable. And then there's a little baby bear, and the cuteness level is just exponentially multiplied. He was one of my favorite non-speaking characters involved. It was sort of a, I guess you could call him a filler character. But he was important to the story, so I wouldn't call him a filler. Um, I did notice something that was very intriguing within the duration of the movie. There was one scene where Dad has to gather all of these items together in order to give them to the Onceler, to have the Onceler tell him the tale. It's actually the vehicle behind the story, and there are more interlocking themes within the film itself that give the tale its drive and motivation, and basically producing the entire plot. I thought that the vocal cast was outstanding. They did a splendid job. It was absolutely spellbinding. Betty White was awesome. She was funny and warm and friendly, and just the sort of grandmother that you would want on your side to help distract your mother from keeping you from what you felt was the right thing to do. Um, I thought that Zac Efron was tremendous. Taylor Swift was magnificent. Um, Danny DeVito was the absolute perfect actor to play Lorax. He was just hands down my favorite character. Of course, other than the Onceler himself. I really liked the Onceler. I just felt that the Onceler, he was trying to prove himself, basically, and there's so much that was involved in this film that I thought was extremely profound, and it's a coming of age story as well as a cautionary tale, and how lying can be destructive in and of itself, and how if you take too much, it can lead to ruin. And then it talks about doing the right thing, basically, and standing up for what you think is, what you feel is the right thing to do, and just coming together as a community, I think. And there were so many things I thought were really profound. Like I felt that the dynamic between the Lorax and the Onceler was sort of depicting a God-human relationship, and just the fact that Lorax speaks of his abilities as if, no, through his power he couldn't do certain things, and he would say, well, it doesn't work like that. And being a Christian, I thought, oh, that's interesting, because I know as a Christian that there are certain things that people would like to believe, and they tend to put God in a box, and you can't do that. And it was just showing that kind of scenario, and how people perceive an ultimate being and power. Very intriguing, and just extremely profound, deep. I mean, this is a children's movie that was deep, very deep, and I would have to have a second go at seeing it, because I think there were probably a lot of things that I missed the first time around. Uh, while Ted, the hero of our story, is getting all these items to elicit the Onceler into spinning his yarn, you see a tiny PVC minion. I don't know if people notice that, but I thought, oh, a minion! Yay! I always notice things like that when I see movies such as that, but it was the same studio that produced Despicable Me. It's a Blue Sky, so of course they had to put in a little teaser for their fans and their supporters, saying, you supported our last film, so we're just going to put in a little bit of thanks for you this time. And it was overt. It was just so obvious, but it was a nice little gesture to the fans out there who had seen Despicable Me. I really enjoyed all the characters, even Aloysius. Aloysius O'Hare. He's this Napoleonic character who, I'm not going to go into his backstory, because you just have to see the movie to understand where he's coming from. He's very comedic in and of himself. It's kind of making fun of the corporate world, and just how ridiculous it can be at times, and how greedy those types of people are. And he's dealt with at the end. I'll just put it that way. I'm not going to say how. But as far as films are concerned, I give this 3.5 stars, because it was very satisfactory. I felt that it was just fun. The music was outstanding. I absolutely loved it, especially the Let It Grow song. I just thought it was so cute, and I love How Bad Can I Be. Just all the songs involved everybody. Everybody needs a need, needs a need, or needs a need. I forget. It was called Needville. You'll see the reason why that's the purpose for that actual name. It becomes rather clear later on in the movie. It's about midway through that you discover why that is, but I won't go into it. I really don't want to give away too much plot, because it'll ruin the film, and it's too good of a movie to pass up to really to do that. And I know you might be thinking to yourself, oh, this is a kid's film. What possible enjoyment could I get out of it? Well, first of all, it is absolutely wondrous. I mean, there's just this sense of awe and inspiration, and the colors involved. It's just so kaleidoscopic and bright and vivid. And then you see the contrast between the Seuss landscape of, and even the plastic fakeness of Thneedville. It's pretty in its own way, um, even if it is stale and kind of bleh, uh, and boring. But uh, where the Onceler exists, it's very ominous and dark and foreboding. But there's a reason for that. Actually, there's this sense of hope and promise in there in the very end. And if you stick around to the end, you get a little bit of extra animation with the fish, and they're funny characters too. They're so random. Um, I got a big kick out of them. I thought they were great characters. They're just thrown in for comedic effect, but they were completely remarkable characters. Also, non-speaking roles that I really enjoyed. Um, there were a lot of lines I took away from this movie that were just funny, really hilarious. Um, I didn't have any nags concerning this movie at all. There really weren't any to be taken away from the film as a whole. I think it's a film that everybody can enjoy, even people who aren't familiar with Dr. Seuss or the Lorax. It's just a good movie. And stick around towards the very end. I don't think a lot of people do because people just leave during the credits, and sometimes during credits you can see some pretty neat things. But at the end, you just see some illustrations from the Lorax, and you just have this cavalcade of people who were involved with the making of the film, and there's so many. It's just an exhaustive list of people, mainly European people, who were responsible for putting this masterpiece together. And then at the very, 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 very end, before the MCAA, you see this. I think it says this film was created with products that will reduce the carbon elimination or footprint. And I thought, oh, awesome! Yay! So this is the first. Actually, this is the first film that I have seen that had that marking on it, and it said "Green is Forever." Apparently, that's the company that was sponsored or was co-sponsoring this, and more power to them. I think that is a magnificent idea for them to do so. So, if you go see a movie with your kids this weekend, make it the Lorax because it's fantastic.